Hi, I'm Kim. Thank you guys so much for joining the Citizen Workshop's Intro to Songwriting class. It's nice to meet you in person. I thought this was a good spot to have a video because if you're a beginner, the chord progressions part can be a little bit tricky. So here I am in my little workspace. Computer's here, keyboard here. So let's jump into it and get started. All right, here we are at the keyboard. Hello. So let's get started. I'm on page 28 of the course, and at the top of the page it says I'm going to use Roman numerals for chord progressions. So let's look at the key of C first. This is easy to play on the piano because there are no sharps or flats. So the one chord is C major, made up of C, E, G. The two chord is D minor. People often say that the minor keys sound a little bit more sad than the major keys. So for comparison, a D major chord is this: D, F sharp, A. The D minor chord is D, F, A. The three chord is E minor, 4, F major, 5 or dominant is G major, 6 is A minor, and 7 is B diminished. A diminished chord is kind of extra minor, so a B major is B, D sharp, F sharp, B minor is B, D, F sharp, and the B diminished is B, D, F. And then we're back to 1, C major. So just to reiterate, you only need 3 chords really to write a song. You could just use the 3 popular chords in a key are usually 1, 4, 5, 1. So you could just try those 3 if this is your very first time doing it. So let's look at the key of G. The 1 chord in G major, G, B, D. The 2 chord is A minor. The 3 chord is B minor, 4 is C major, the 5 or dominant is D major, 6 is E minor, 7 is F sharp diminished, and then we're back to 1, G major. So I just want to say quickly that I am far from a music theory expert, but I just use what I know, and the more you use this kind of stuff, the more familiar it seems. But I make mistakes a lot. I have to remind myself of certain sharps or flats or things like that. So don't feel bad if you feel like you are still understanding this or you make a mistake now and then. You'll get better at it the more you do it. So now I'm going to look at putting chord progressions into real life, so into a real song. I'm going to use an example of mine, a song I wrote called I Want to Be a Cowboy. And the primary chords that I use in this song are 1, 4, and 5. So the song is in the key of D, and my verse alternates between A and G, so the 5 and the 4 chords. And then my chorus returns to 1, and I go up to 4. I do use 6, 5, 4, back down to 1, and then 4. And here I break a rule. I use a C major chord that doesn't technically belong in the key of D. The C sharp diminished is what's in the key of D. But if you like how it sounds, try it out. So I use a C major, and then back to D, which is the 1 chord. So then I have the verse 2, I repeat the chorus, and then my bridge uses the 3 chord, F sharp. Speaking of mistakes, there we go. F sharp minor, which is F sharp, A, C sharp. The G chord, which is the 4. A, which is 5. And then back down to 4 before I return to my chorus on the D major 1 chord. So I'm going to play through that now, and there's going to be a black bar on the bottom of the screen where you can follow along the chord changes, and you can also look at the lyrics on the lead sheet, which is on page 29 of the course. So here you go. It's I Want to Be a Cowboy by me. I'm a city girl, born and raised, but there's too much horns and getting pushed. It's a treadmill and I want open space. I wanna be a cowboy in a country song. Breathe Missouri air when life goes all wrong. I drink PBR at Sonny's bar and drive a rusty truck instead of a car. I wanna be a cowboy in a country song. The more rugged he is, the more he's loved. Where I'm never made up enough. A horse, a ranch, and a blue-eyed girl give him all of life's answers. I wanna be a cowboy in a country song. Breathe Missouri air when life goes all wrong. I drink PBR at Sonny's bar and drive a rusty truck instead of a car. I wanna be a cowboy in a country song. I'd collapse in my chair as the sun goes down on my wraparound porch, knowing that life has worked out. I wanna be a cowboy in a country song. Breathe Missouri air when life goes all wrong. I drink PBR at Sonny's bar and drive a rusty truck instead of a car. I wanna be a cowboy in a country song. And usually I would repeat the chorus one more time there. But I did want to say, as you're playing with chord progressions, also play with the timing of your chord changes. So in my first verse, I sing, I'm a city girl, born and raised, but there's too much going on these days. I change chords twice per line. I could have sped that up and changed chords 4 times per line, which would sound like this. I'm a city girl, born and raised, but there's too much going on these days. Totally different sound. And I could have also only changed chords once per line, which would sound like this. I'm a city girl, born and raised, but there's too much going on these days. So play with the timing, see what you like when you add chord progressions to your song. So now it's time to test some stuff out. I've given you 2 chord progressions to play with. The first one uses only the 1, 4, 5 chords. And then the second chord progression sample that I gave you to try uses 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. So play around, see what you like, and let us know how you did in the Google Plus community.